Welcome back, gang. It's Deltia from DeltiasGaming.com, and we are back doing dungeon diving on the battery PvE healer that you guys have requested. I'll put my little face cam in here. No crazy voice recordings. You're going to see this live, and so yeah, it'll be kind of like a stream. Maybe I'll make some funny comments. I'm going to do it with my friends Gill and Althea. They're going to be joining me. So one tank and one stam DPS. So I'm going to make some adjustments according to who's going to be in my group. And so we got Gill playing his Stam Nightblade, right? So I'm not likely going to need Mystic Orb since Magic Return isn't going to be a big, huge deal. So I'll take that off and replace it with some little damage, like Puncturing Sweeps. Now, obviously, my spec is still the same with a lot into Blessed, so these aren't going to hit for a lot, but it's just something to do, some little damage that I can throw out. You could almost swap Combat Prayer out since he is a Nightblade and is going to be using his own Relentless Focus. So we're going to go swap that out and we're going to put Rapid Regeneration on just so some more heals over time. Another thing, I don't necessarily need Healing Springs. Since I have Breath of Life, that's going to heal pretty much everyone in the group since we're only playing with 3. So that could be subbed out as well. Oh, another good skill to sub that out with is Purifying Light. It does some burst damage and it has the ability to heal right around where that certain mob is. So those are something I'm going to keep. And then, like I said, Radiant Aura, maybe use, maybe not. So I'm going to go ahead and put Beam on there. So this would be like a typical dungeon setup that I would use if I were switching just to do dungeons. I'd swap in a couple different things. Trials, or you have a more magic-based team, leave it like it was with orbs and so forth. Alright, so let's get started. Still wearing the old Worm Colt and Spell Power Cure Gear, just a basic setup. Don't need to run Infal now since I have a Lightning Staff, and the staff passes have changed. So as long as I keep Blockade down on our primary area doing damage, I should be good. So we're going to go in here. Don't be the guy that pulls stuff like I did, but, you know, I'm going to be that guy. Just because these dungeons are pretty easy if you've done them a lot of times. So high damage, we don't have our tank with us. I'm going to drop a Nova, put that down, my Ritual, this down here, make sure this is up. And you'll notice I don't have Repentance anymore, just because Radiant Aura is so useful. So Spears are going to be a must-have on these particular targets. Blockade down, Spear, a couple Purifying Lights, get my hots going, double tap it. Big old heavy attack. We'll throw a beam on him. I'm looking in the top left corner of my screen, and I'm looking there specifically to see what my HP and my friends are. I also have that HP. You'll see that I have the health bars on. That allows me to basically look at their HP without actually moving all the way up to the top left or right of my screen. So if you're on consoles or whatever, that's why I do that. So I can see what their HP are without worrying about, hey, I gotta turn my head or this or that and the other. So alright, very simple, right? You know, we're just gonna start out with our pre-buffs. Gonna throw a spear on the DPS here. He's gonna dodge, putting down our couple things for our buff with our focus. Oh, he's about to get nuked, but I got a big old Breath of Life and I swapped. So if you're just starting out and you can't, like, you're not good at bar swapping or you have problems with it, you can always put Breath of Life on both bars and keep things really simple. But, you know, that's not always going to produce the best results, so you can kind of anticipate damage, right? And especially the more you play, the more you're going to get anticipation for when you're going to take damage. So it just comes with time. I'm going to hit a Spell Power Potion so I have that buff going. And this guy does do a negate, so I'm going to use a Warhorn instead right now so I don't get negated. And then see that outer ring there? That outer ring can be very, very dangerous, so we don't want to mess with that. Put my stuff down, specifically that. Remember, I got 8 meters on this as the animation doesn't go off. Sick. So let's get these ads down as this doesn't target the wrong guy. And here we go. Now we get fun, happy negate time. So throw down, and you can see as long as your team's not doing a whole lot standing in the red, you don't have to sit here and just spam Breath of Life over and over. So Purifying Light, that's going to do a heal over time at their location. Rapid Regeneration, missed a block there, that's okay. I'm going to try to take out these guys here to prevent them from doing that thing. That thing is the mechanic back there. Put my blockade down, so that gives that 8% damage when they're off balance, concussed. Got another negate, but he's in beam range here, so as long as my hots are up, I can do a friendly beam. So I'm getting peppered a little bit, so let's go make sure we have all those dots reapplied. Got that. Throw a spear down. I'm going to throw 2, just in case the DPS grabs one and the tank grabs one. If they don't have repents, they might be hurting on stam. And that's a choice you're going to have to make. You know, in the game today, a lot of players are playing magic just because it's so much more powerful than most of the stam builds. So that's why I went with that more for this particular video. Blockade, you can see I'm not doing a good job of putting my blockade down because I'm just not used to it, right? We got Crazy Dude on me. Put a Purifying Light on him. And I'm going to put my blockade down. Do a couple little happy sweeps here. Put that Purifying Light down. I'm going to beam him. Oh, there we go. My blockade down and beam. Don't be targeting me, sir. Or ma'am. I don't know, is it a carterizer, a ma'am, or a... Just a looker one way or another. Blockade and beam. So you're going to be more offensively aggressive in dungeons just because you don't have to AoE heal and buff solely. But those things are still useful to do. The main thing you're going to want to do is put that blockade down. Have a heal over time, like rapid regeneration going, to proc more of your... to have it easier to proc your spell power cure. Also, channel focus for sustain and mitigation, and then stand behind the guy. If you're using combat prayer, you're going to be right here and use it. These animations aren't going off today. Good thing. The game works great. Blockade down. And I'm beaming the wrong guy. I am really playing well today. Good thing I'm not going to re-record this video. Show you how bad I am. Die! Woo! Wax Harvester. Sick achievement. Best achievement ever. So I'm going to use a Nova here since we're not in TeamSpeak. Well, I'm not talking to them, so I'll assume that the tank will use a Warhorn. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. Blockade, Ritual, Purifying Light, and I'm going to throw a Spear. Now once those things are done, I have a few seconds here where I can do maybe 1, 2 sweeps. Okay, he gets the red stuff of goo, another rapid regeneration, another Spear, maybe 1 sweep, and then I get cocooned. Ah! Hit that synergy. Good, got it. I'm going to swap, throw a Spear, Purifying Light. He's going to come in again, throw another Spear. And so you maybe get a little bit of time to do 1 or 2 sweeps, but you shouldn't be sitting there mindlessly sweeping all the time as a healer. You know, you get throw a Spear here, do this. When in doubt, if you're keeping your heals over time up, you know, that should be good enough where you can do some beams or some sweeps and get some damage out. But you shouldn't be sacrificing everyone else's damage for your own. So you can see here, instead of beaming, I should have put my blockade down a little earlier, but I didn't. So it's something I can improve on. I got Razmatun charge weapon. Yeah, everyone loves them charge weapon traits. Good thing those are in the game. So here we go. Put this down, and you know that lightning staff, even just doing a heavy attack, will produce some decent damage. So I mean, lightning staff is really good now. It had been good for a while, I just hadn't been using it, so. You're always trying new things. You know, that's the thing I always tell people. The best players are always trying new things. You know, stick with what works, but it's a good idea, a good concept to have in life is always trying to improve on things. You know, just keep doing it. And it works for video games, works for life, you know, getting swole, getting ripped, anything. Just try to improve, have fun. Life's too short to take it all seriously and get all butthurt about everything. Don't be sensitive like me. Be tough. Be crazy. Tough and crazy. Those are the attributes I want to have. Mama, what I want to do when I grow up, I want to be tough and crazy like Deltia. That's right, son. Alright. Left lecturing time. We got a little mini boss here. Let's give him some love taps, put a Nova on him, give him a little whatever that is, and do some sweeps. Remember, blockade's going to run out real fast, so got to put that sucker down. and Purifying Light. And you can always simplify your bars and put like, you know, this on it. So if you want to do Purifying Light, you know, maybe put Channel Focus on the back one. And the reason you do that is just because it's simpler. You don't have to bar swap that much. Because some players, you know, they're not really that good with the bar swap. So whatever level you're at, just adopt the build and change it for whatever level. There's no reason to get all crazy about things. I'm doing beams because it's my button of choice. I love beam. Okay, so he looks like he ran out of stamina there, so I'm gonna throw a spear. Looks like he didn't break CC fast, and I know Gill's reaction time's good, so he might be out of stam. And so you can like Breath of Life when, you know, like reactionary. Look at that 15k non-crit. What? But don't panic Breath of Life. And your team's experience is really going to determine how often you can heal versus doing damage. So remember that the better players in the game are not only doing a lot more damage, but they're avoiding taking damage. And that this game is all about damage, right? So even as a DPS, if you can avoid taking damage, that gives your healer more time to do damage themselves. So you have to think in those terms, you know, how are we going to get this stuff down as fast as possible? And that's just one way you can do it. There's many different ways this stuff can happen, but I am lagging today. Or maybe I'm just mad because I'm bad. I'm going to drop a Nova down here. You don't really need to, but, you know, I don't like having all that ultimate. I feel like it's wasting if I just don't use it. So, Remembrance, you guys know that's my favorite mechanic in VMA. Die, stupid poopy head. So I'm going to throw a spear up here, give them their regen, just why we go. And remember that, you know, you need to throw another spear if one of the DPSs use it. So just remember that. So a good rotation in starting these out is blockade or Purifying Light on like a tanky target. You know, rapid regen before you start, and then bar swap and do a blockade. So that's a good way to start in these dungeons. So we got our couple buffs down. We're going to do 2 hots, Purifying Light, spear, this, put my 2 little things down, and then do a couple of sweeps. Now I'm looking at their HP. See, you took a little bit of damage there. I'm going to bar swap. I had Breath of Life, and I really didn't need to because the heal over time worked pretty well. But, you know, if you got a no death going, sometimes it's better just to be the Breath of Life spamming noob that I am. Look at the heavy attack, baby. 1.6k heavy attack. Legit. Throw a spear down. Purifying Light goes off. And you can see the heals that has. So if I have rapid regen up, extended ritual, Purifying Light, and that's hitting for like 4k on a non-crit. I mean, that sucker can heal. So I'm going to throw a couple of spears down here. And the reason why is get my stam, the stam guys topped off. You see they can use these spears. So my regen isn't even nearly a problem, but that's just because I'm an Argonian. Y'all say, why do you play an Argonian, Deltia? You say it just like that, too. Well, some people do. Well, I play it because I like it. Is that okay, Mom? For some spears. And I went with Luminous Spear. Blazing is probably going to be the best if you plan on doing dungeons more. Just because the added damage is nice, but I like Luminous in PvP because it's a disorient and it drops block, right? So that's really nice. And spears, I'm going to do just 2 here. Just 1 Breath of Life, make sure he's topped up. Get my wall down, reapply these 2 buffs, Purifying, throw a spear. You can see those heals over time. They're doing the healing, not so much spam Breath of Life, except when I stand and poop. Don't stand and poop, kids. Poop's not good for you. Spear. Purifying Light. Now he's nearing that key threshold. So hit this. And I would do a beam normally, but since there's red poopy poop on the ground, I'm going to hold off. So I'm going to throw a spear. I'm going to do my blockade, put my ritual down, then beam. Remember ritual for that major mending, but also it does great healing too. So those things down, it's gonna you know, it ramp up your healing per second for the group. You see, look at that. Extended ritual, 4k and a crit. Rapid generation, 4k and a crit. You're talking averaging about 6k heals per second on just yourself with, like, you know, 1 ability. So 2 abilities. Well, I can't do math. So if you do rapid generation, you got your ritual down, you know, you can do some powerful healing, allowing yourself not to do Breath of Life. So that's what I keep telling people. Do your damage over time. You see I don't even have blockade down. See, I'm critiquing myself while I'm playing. That's when you know you're bad. That's when you're out. Block. Get them off me. I can't handle the pressure. That's the thing is, if you got pressure on you, don't panic as a healer, right? I can just heal the crap out of this. And when I'm teaching people to play as a healer, like I'll just do an exercise with them where I make them stand and get beat on, just spam Breath of Life. When in doubt, you can just stand and take a lot of damage. I wouldn't recommend it, but don't panic. It's an important thing not to do. Ah, panicking! Alright, Gill took a lot of damage there, so I'm gonna get my hots up. See, I wasn't prepared. I was doing lecture Deltia time. Spear down. My blockade. Channel focus isn't down, so I'm going to pop that down. I'm going to pop my ritual down. Let's try to get one of these crusty guys dead. And you don't have to come back here and do this. I don't know why they're coming back here, but sometimes there's like chest and get some of that ebony tank gear. So I farmed the crap out of this thing. Now, if you're doing the number 1 version, there is a side boss in here. So it just depends on what you want to do. Look at this little statue. 2 little lovebirds. Hey, banker, thanks for joining us on this run. You got some money? You're a banker, I know you do. Alright, heals over time, spear, blockade, bash, sweep. Look at them synergies. Urgh! Every time you use a synergy, make that sound. Now, it's really important to use synergies. Some synergies can only be used by like one person, like a grab crush, right? But in general, if you see an impale, use it, unless like someone needs a heal immediately, because the damage and resources that it gives back is significant. So synergies are an important aspect of the game, and I don't think a lot of people understand them or use them enough. Same thing with Inner Fire, Inner Rage. I mean, that ability, synergy, does a lot of damage, especially if you respect full DPS. Use that sucker. It's just free resources if your Undaunted's maxed. And if you have the Synergizer passive and champion points, guess what? It does even more. It gives you ultimate back. So synergies, even as a healer, use them suckers. Oh, heal, big heal, big heal. There we go, breath. See, that was a useful Breath of Life. Now I'm just going to use one again. And if I was using Repentance, I would use that over Breath of Life as a free heal. But I got Radiant Aura. Putting these down. No Remembrance, sir. Now he's done a couple dodge rolls, and so I'm going to throw a spear. Just because I know after doing a couple dodge rolls, you're probably out of juice. This boss you can either burn through, but since we only have 3 people, it might be troubling. So you separate in like in the corners, and I'll show you. I'll just shut up. Oh, he attacked me first. Lovely. I'm going to do a horn because I don't know if the tank's going to do one. And as a tank, make sure you bash that attack. It's something you can prevent. And he pulls us in. So you can see heals over time is what's going to save us. Now you jump one here, and the tank jumps another, and another guy jumps another, right? So that's how you do that. Now, heals over time. So you want to make sure both of those are going. So that way when this crazy thing comes out, you can do it. So I'm going to reapply my heals over time. Throw this down in my ritual, and bang. So now you can see, look at the day heals over time on the right hand side. See, our health bars aren't moving. You're not doing heals over time, it ain't gonna happen for you. Alright, so shut up, Deltia, throw a spear for the DPS. I'm gonna do my heals over time. Yeah, I know, you're tired of me telling that. And then Beamo Supremo. I'm doing beams because I can. I'm doing because... Oh, I'm recording. I'm one of the worst singers you've ever heard. But hey, I'm good at something. I think. Okay, so this one we gotta have 4 little doopity doopy dops up. This can be hard on the tank for resource sustain, since you're taunting like 4 or 5 lich things. Lich thing. Terrible explanation. You're taunting 4 or 5 things, including the boss, right? And you have these dudes that come up out of these portals. You need 4 alive once the boss gets, I think, 35% health. So the trick here is, if you have enough damage, you can just basically wail on the boss the entire time. And since we're down one person, it's not going to be, but Gill usually does enough damage for 3 people, so. But we'll see what we do. So I'm going to work on a little bit more on damage since we are down a person. And I'm going to make sure that there's a spear down on the boss almost always. So blockade, I'm going to reapply my heals over time. I'm going to hit a war horn here, purifying light, and spear. And he will rotate around quite a bit. So I'm not going to do blockade just yet because I want to see where he goes. Okay, blockade. I'm going to do heals over time so I can focus on damage. And then when he points towards you, it's just simple, a block or a dodge roll, right? Those are real simple. So he's at 64% health. So I'm going to assume that we can make this push. So right now you don't want to do AoE damage to the little goobly ghost guys. And if the tank can't get them all, don't panic or anything. Block. So I'm going to throw a spear over there. Remember, depending on which morph you have of the spear, you're not going to always want to just throw them blazing spears on the tank because it might damage them. So just remember that. So he's focused on me. That's okay. Bar swap. Heal over time. I'll throw a spear since that synergy can be used again. Alright, now we got 4. So it's going to be a little bit tricky, but we got to push it just a little bit further and we can do this. Now, focus on me again. Just do a roly-poly dodge roll. I hit the wrong button like a noob. That's good. So I'm just going to beam. The reason I'm beaming is pushing that 35%. Okay, so now once you get to this point, you see how he puts his hand up? Just wait a second. Wait till he puts his hand up, then drop the house. So I'm going to rebuff, blockade, and Nova. Now, let's work. So we kill all those things with AoE. Oh, perfect, it picked me up. So there'll be a synergy thing you're going to want to hit. And when you come out of it, sometimes it gets buggy. See that? I'm hitting that synergy. I know, buggy in ESO, right? Come on! I'm going to hit a tripod right out of there. Also, where you stand determines if there's a red circle or not. So as a melee, don't stand right on top of the other player, or that's going to happen. Oops. Enter. Come up. Once you see that red little line on you like that, it means the boss is going to be right on top of you. So blockade. So you see how the red starts to appear? Like right there? Block. Or eat it. Block, dodge, or don't be a noob. Yeah, so once you get pulled up like that, it's usually pretty buggy in who gets hit or whatever. So sometimes you can just burn through it and prevent that from happening. Or sometimes you get bugged out where you can't even move. But otherwise, when in doubt where the boss is, if you're melee, stand behind it so a red circle lands on you. It's not on the person that's lifted up. Otherwise, it'll kill him just from doing AoE damage. That's it. That's the healer build, y'all. Thanks for watching. Dungeon diving. Success. I had fun. Did you? Leave me a comment. Let me know if you liked this video. Thanks for watching.